It's time I look back over my 2.5 years at this hobby and review the biggest mistake I've made in collecting watches. I imagine this video might be a bit contentious, as I know there are a lot of G-Shock lovers out there. But hear me out as I explain why I didn't like the G-Shock I bought, and perhaps all G-Shock watches. Welcome to another episode of Adventures with Time. If you've been watching my channel and following my activities in collecting watches, you may know that I started out attracted only to mechanical watches. More specifically, I focused my exploration to automatic mechanical watches. Recently, I changed my mind and been expanded to more enthusiastically consider manual wind watches. I've even been looking at some quartz watches in addition to the couple I already have in my collection. When I started collecting watches, I didn't think I wanted a G-Shock. After all, I was into the mechanical nature of watches, the beauty and engineering that went into the different parts of the watch, from the power storage, the transmission of power, and the regulation of power. And this from someone who, as a teenager, had a few Casio watches. I remember having a basic Casio digital watch. I even had a more elaborate watch that I think they called the Data Bank. I think I still have it somewhere, buried amongst my boxed off stuff from years ago. One of these days I'll have to dig around and see if I could find it and get it resurrected into working condition. But back then we didn't have smartphones, home computers, or any sort of smart device. So Casio watches were something special. Now for me, digital watches like G-Shock are more like little computers, or more appropriately, personal digital assistants. Yes, there is engineering in them, but more in the way of electrical engineering and the toughness of their enclosures. So I wasn't really interested in them, but I kept seeing discussions and videos about G-Shocks, reviewing Casio's latest models and how lots of people love and collect them. So early into my collecting, I decided to give them a try. But which one of the many models I should get? But I decided if I was going to get one, I wanted one with a lot of sensors. So I landed on the Golfmaster model GWN 1000B. Maybe that was my mistake. Maybe I should have ordered one of the more basic models, because this thing had the kitchen sink, radio reception for time correction, digital compass, temperature reading, barometer, altimeter, tide graphs, moon phase, and it was solar charging. Oh, and it also kept time. Heck, the instruction manual for this thing was over 100 pages. Anyway, I wore this watch several times. I've even brought it on vacation to the beach to play around with it. I used to check the tides, I used the compass, I even tested how well it measured my altitude. I even wore it several times to work in my weekly rotation. I wanted to like it, really, I did. I played with all the functions it had, trying to remember how to use them. But I realized that all these sensors and features were things I already had on my smartphone. So why did I need them on a watch? And the smartphone is much easier to use. Of course, the same could be said for any mechanical watch complication. Chronograph, moon phase, even day and date. The big difference to me, I think, is implementation. The G-Shock implements these features through electronics. Mechanical watches use gears, springs, levers, etc. That is what fascinates me, along with the beauty of the design, the dial, the hands, and all the movement parts. G-Shocks, for the most part, are plastic housings with electronic components. This leads me to believe that even the basic of G-Shocks wouldn't be much interest to me, as they are just a simpler set of electronics. I just don't think G-Shocks are for me. I certainly understand that we are all collectors with different tastes and interests. I certainly don't mean to demean anyone based on what they collect, but I am certainly interested in various opinions and collecting strategies. This makes me ask you, my fellow collectors, are you interested in G-Shocks? If so, what is it about them that you like? Do you consider them watches? What am I missing here, if anything? Anyway, that is what I consider my biggest mistake so far in watch collecting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next episode.